Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.
Revolution.
First, what is a revolution?
Revolution is the solution, hey.
The motive of a revolution.
Well, now,
The objective of a revolution.
we televise.
And the result of a revolution. And the methods used in a revolution.
I know you know. Put my gun away. Never gonna put my gun away. Put my gun away. See the mob, you better run away.
This generation of Americans has already had enough, more than enough, of war and hate and oppression.
Hello, Internet. How's everybody this fine Sunday evening? Hope everybody had a great weekend. Hope you guys are ready for Monday, because I have a feeling throughout the week we're going to be hearing insane shit, because there's what, 3 million files to go through? 3 million of them? And we're only hearing about what people have found so far, and I got to say, it's pretty insane. And this is just the stuff. It's primarily emails between Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and other people. So this is the stuff they were willing to say through emails. Imagine the conversations that they only had in person. And yeah, like a lot of stuff that was never put on someone's computer. So it's kind of shocking. Boss Tina, nice to see you. We have a shit ton to go through. And there's so much of it that I'm bound to have missed some stuff. So like none of this, I didn't pick and choose things selectively. I bookmarked stuff as it came out, and that's what I have pulled up, because I'm sure there's other stuff probably other stuff that's come out since I've hit go live right now. Wally World, nice to see you. Danger, what's going on? Yeah, we have a ton to get into, and there's believe it or not, there's some other stuff that I want to cover other than the Epstein files, and hopefully we'll have time to get into it. So we got the Epstein files. We've got people essentially cheering for war with Iran. We've got an armada of ships that have already gone towards Iran. We have some sort of chat bots on what is this platform called over here that have basically on Maltbook, and these chat bots are talking amongst each other and basically trying to figure out how to or they're talking shit to humans, and it's kind of insane. And then you've got the whole gold and silver shit that's going on right now, and yeah, we're just in the middle of madness. It seems like every day that goes by that it just becomes more insane, all the stuff that is going on. So I guess let's get right into it. North side. All right, good. My Rumble chat's actually showing up in the main chat now. So it's good, man. Nice to see you. Every goddamn one of them, coach. Every single one of them. Now, I will preface with saying that a lot of the stuff that I'm going to show tonight is just going to be, they're allegations by people. Now, there's a lot of them, unfortunately. And yeah, people aren't looking too good, and there's some serious, like, weird cult level copium going on with trying to, a lot of people are saying, oh, this stuff exonerates Trump. It's like, no, this doesn't exonerate him. And before any of these files came out, we already knew that Epstein and Trump had a relationship. We knew that they had a relationship for around a decade, and they were pretty chummy with one another, and then they had a major falling out. And there's been speculation on what exactly that falling out was over. Trump claims that it was about a real estate deal gone bad, basically about I think it was about Mar-a-Lago, about purchasing Mar-a-Lago or some other property, and they were like fighting over it. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know if the falling out was over something else. We do know that Trump cooperated with authorities when he was questioned about it, and he claims to have no wrongdoing whatsoever. But I mean, there's some stuff that isn't great. I mean, I wouldn't want these accusations being pointed at me. So let's get right into it. I'm just going to go over to a quick recap of what we've discovered so far, and this is from Mr. Red Pills. He reposted this, but this video is from someone else. Hopefully, her name will show up on the TikTok screen there, and we'll see who this person is. But she gives a decent little recap of what we've learned so far. But this is also a day old, so we've learned more stuff since then. So let's see what she has to say. Epstein Files recap.
The DOJ has officially released all of the Epstein files.
You guys, will you let me know if video's audio is lower than my microphone audio, if it sounds weird?
And here's what we know so far. According to an email, Bill Gates had caught an STD from one of the Russian girls and reached out to Epstein to get antibiotics that he could secretly give Melinda, which is probably one of the reasons when talking about her divorce, she said this.
Yeah, as I said, it's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Emails show that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't just trafficking these girls, but apparently also torturing them as well, possibly to death. You have to wonder why these names are still being redacted. Elon Musk is now in the files for the first time from emails in 2013, where him and Jeffrey Epstein were going back.
I will say Elon says this is not true, that those are not his emails, and Grok confirms that. We'll talk about that a little later.
About Jeffrey Epstein sending him a helicopter, possibly to go visit his island, considering that Musk was in the British Virgin Islands, only 15-minute flight away. No shocker here, Hillary Clinton had invited Jeffrey Epstein to a very intimate fundraiser, but it was hosted by Howard Lutnick, our current Secretary of Commerce. When it comes to Lutnick,
and Lutnick and Epstein have a very long history, a very interesting history. I'll say every time I talk about Epstein, go read One Nation Under Blackmail. It is a difficult read because it's 2 volumes and it covers a very long period of time. And there is so many different names. You almost have to take notes on the book, draw a map with all the names and draw lines connecting the names and what the connections are, because it's so much information. One Nation Under Blackmail. I read it twice, both volumes, and there's still stuff I missed. So read One Nation Under Blackmail. It's several years old now, and it's the most comprehensive, in-depth look at what Jeffrey Epstein was all about and sort of what created Jeffrey Epstein. The whole first volume doesn't talk about Jeffrey Epstein. It's a long book. Read it.
it doesn't stop there. There's an email that Jeffrey Epstein had donated $50,000 in Howard's honor. Files were posted that accused President Trump via a tip line of inappropriate behavior, to say the least. Then the DOJ took those files down, but now they are back up for you to read for yourself.
That's another weird thing. They've been putting stuff up and then taking it down and then putting it back up again. It's pretty weird.
None of these claims against President Trump were substantiated because either no contact were made or they were considered invalid. And speaking of Trump, there's a Jeffrey Epstein email that says that he was planning to visit Mar-a-Lago in 2012 after Trump apparently banned him in 2003. There's a report that says that Prince Andrew tortured a girl that was trafficked by Ghislaine Maxwell. And when it comes to Epstein, it appears that the only thing 18 years and older are the people that want to read the files. There are over 3 million new pages, 2,000 videos, and 180,000 new images. So we are just getting started here. Stay tuned for part 2. And as always, let me know what you think about all of this down below.
Yeah, you do have to. You have to click the thing that says you're 18 to get into the files. I've gone to the website and then I was just like, oh God, where do I start? So I just didn't start. It's frankly overwhelming how much shit there is. So I wonder how people are combing through it. I didn't even look if there's like a keyword search that you can use or how the files are broken up. Are they broken up by year or is it just blah? It's like everything in there. There's no organization to it whatsoever. I don't know. I need to look through it. I imagine people are creating AI bots to filter out certain words and key names and things like that. So those are the first things that we're going to find. Obviously, people are searching for Trump stuff. They're searching for big name stuff like Elon, Bill Gates, all that kind of shit. But I have a feeling some of the most salacious stuff that we're going to hear about isn't going to come out for weeks because people are going to manually be going through all these different files. So let's keep going. Let's see how the DOJ is portraying this whole thing, shall we? So what's this guy's name? I can't remember this dude's name. He's representing the DOJ in this. He's like a press secretary of some sort, I believe. I've never even seen this guy before. I don't know who he is, but let's listen to his impressions of the Epstein files that have been released so far. Wait for the next part. I'm sorry. What? Were you just suggesting that there's videos and pictures in these files portraying death and abuse? Huh. That's interesting. Oh, my bad. Damn it. All right. Thanks for letting me know, Boss Tina. I'm horrible like that. What did I do here? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is why I'm an amateur podcaster. Let me go back to this. Good thing it was only like a 30-second clip. So this is from Standby, guys. I know. Thank you, Boss Tina. Thank you, Wally World. This is from Mr. Guns and Gear. I apologize again. Man, you'd think I wouldn't be rusty. Actually, this is my second stream of the week. Okay. All right. Let's share this now. Okay. I apologize. Okay. So this is the guy from the DOJ talking about what they're holding back from the Epstein files.
To keep seeing the categories of documents withheld include those permitted under the Act to be withheld. Files that contain personally identifiable information of victims or victims' personal and medical files, and similar files, the disclosure of which would constitute a clearly unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced.
What? Okay, so I guess that's in there. Notice how he also said they're holding back anything that is currently being investigated by the FBI. Isn't everybody saying that this investigation's over? This is wrapped up. So are they saying there's still an investigation going on? I would hope so.
Although the Act allows for withholding for items necessary to keep seeing.
All right, let's keep going here. I got more from him. So, yeah, the gaslighting is pretty interesting. This journalist asks a question like, hey, are you guys going to go after the abusers? And this guy, he's like, what abusers? I did it again. I'm sorry, guys. Jeez, I suck.
You said this is the end of the Epstein, of your review of the Epstein files. So just to clarify, is the public going to learn the identities of the men who abused the girls with the information that you're releasing? And if not, why not? And then I have a quick follow-up.
I mean, you just baked in an assumption into your question that I have never said and I don't know to be true. Is the public going to learn about men that abuse these girls? Like, what does that mean?
Well, sir, you just said that you're holding back any imagery or videos that depicts death or torture or abuse. So that clearly seems to be in the files. And now you're asking, what does he mean by abuse? Really?
I don't understand what that means.
Well, I mean, they're the men who abused the young women through Epstein's.
Look, we said in July, and it remains as true today as it was in July. If we had information, we meaning the Department of Justice, about men who abused women, we would prosecute them, right? We talked about the work that we're doing. That's why I said that. I said this earlier. There's this built-in assumption that somehow there's this hidden tranche of information of men that we know about that we're covering up or that we're choosing not to prosecute.
Yes, that is what we are all assuming. That is what all of us believe. But keep gaslighting.
That is not the case. I don't know whether there are men out there that abuse these women. If we learn about information and evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But I don't think that the public or you all are going to uncover men within the Epstein files that abuse women, unfortunately.
Are you sure about that? I don't think that's true. Hey, if you guys are in here, please give the stream a like, a repost if you're watching on X, like over on Rumble, like over on YouTube. Leave a comment, all that good stuff. Helps the algorithm. I got a tiny channel. Hopefully it'll grow at some point. All right, let's keep going. I got one more from him. Oh, no, that was it from him. Now let's go. This is a bit of a longer clip, and I'm going to play the whole thing. And I'll pause and react to silly things that Jesse Waters says here. But this seems like a script that he was handed from somebody not at Fox News, if you ask me. So let's listen to what Jesse Waters has to say about the Epstein documents.
Democrats want you to forget all about the shutdown shellacking. So they're launching a smear campaign disguised as a bombshell. The Jeffrey Epstein emails.
Okay, so right off the bat there, he's framing this as, oh, only the Democrats want to. This isn't just the Democrats that want to see who's in the files, who's implicated in the files, and if people are implicated in the files, want to see them go to prison. It's not just Democrats. And there's this huge coalition on the right that is trying to make this a partisan issue when all of us know that there's people from the left, people from the right, people from all walks of life, well, elite walks of life in these files. This isn't a partisan issue, but once again, it's being made into one.
Congress is dumping thousands of documents, and Democrats are using them to frame Trump. But we've been combing through them and can't find anything nailing Trump.
Well, there's two specific things, but we'll get into that.
Even Axios says the emails contained no real smoking gun. The files do show Epstein's deep ties to liberals, like anti-Trump author Michael Wolff. He colluded with Epstein on how to blackmail Trump. Wolff told Epstein in 2015, if you should let him hang himself. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or to the house, then that gives you a valuable PR and political currency. Why is Wolff giving a pedophile PR advice and coaching him to take down the president? That wasn't the only writer Epstein colluded with. A New York Times reporter gave Epstein a heads up that a former cop was investigating him for a book. That reporter was pushed out of the company after they found he asked Epstein for a $30,000 donation. Larry Summers, who worked for Bill Clinton and Obama, was also pen pals with Epstein. He was asking him for tips on women. Who goes to Jeffrey Epstein for dating advice? Epstein didn't just have ties to the Democrats and the media. He had foreign connections. Before Trump met Putin in 2018, Epstein was pitching himself to the Kremlin, saying he could give Russia insight on Trump, which is weird because if the Kremlin was controlling Trump like the Democrats accused him, why did they need insight?
I wonder if he's going to mention Howard Lutnick. I'm curious.
He wasn't just any old rich American. He was well connected to top players all over the world, from Israel to Saudi Arabia. And it wasn't a secret. Epstein went to Clinton's White House 17 times. And Slick Willie was a frequent flyer on the so-called Lolita Express. Clinton and Epstein seemed like pals. But when it comes to Trump, Jeffrey had TDS. I have met some very bad people, none as bad as Trump. Not one decent cell in his body. Trump should wear that like a badge of honor. The slime.
But remember, they were friends before their falling out. So it seems like they had a very bad falling out. And Trump and Bill Clinton used to be buddies. The Clintons and Trump used to hang out. Some would say probably at all these same parties. But Axios is right. There is no smoking gun in here that we've seen so far. And look, if there's not, exonerate Trump. If there is, put him in prison, just like anybody else. This shouldn't be I'm going to protect anybody or stand up for anybody if there's proof that they actually did something wrong in these files. That if you find yourself doing that, you're behaving like a cult member.
Funniest guy in the world, hating you is a good thing. Epstein even admitted Trump, quote, never got a massage. The same author Epstein colluded with even said this.
Epstein believed that it was Trump who first informed the police about what was going on at Epstein's house. And from that point on, they were nothing but bitter enemies.
So Trump dropped a dime on Epstein, but Democrats say they're best buds? And that Biden and Obama's DOJ had proof Trump was compromised, but waited 3 elections to keep it a secret? They arrested Trump over bookkeeping and want us to believe they had real dirt and didn't use it.
The Epstein files were in existence and free to have been opened during the Biden administration. You were there for 4 years. How come you didn't open it as a Democratic Party then? What am I missing?
So I have a conspiracy theory on this one. I feel like the Democrats may have spent the last 4 years scrubbing the files and completely getting rid of any information that implicates Democrats. And then as soon as Trump got into office, they decided, and that's why they didn't release the files during Biden's administration, because it implicates Democrats just as much as it implicates Republicans. And they may have gotten rid of all of that and then jumped on board the Epstein release, because it is true. Democrats weren't saying shit about the Epstein files during Biden's administration. A lot of people are saying that Massey wasn't either. No, Massey was. He just didn't put forth any sort of legislation to try and get anything pulled because he had no leverage. He didn't have the support in the House, and there's no way he could have got it done during the Biden administration. Not to mention, everybody surrounding Trump was saying we need to release the Epstein files leading up to him getting sworn in as president. And then he got in, and it was like, oh, it's a Democrat hoax. And then Massey started holding his feet to the fire. So the criticism of Massey on this, to me, is just weird.
Ghislaine Maxwell said Trump did nothing wrong. So have Epstein's victims and Epstein's lawyer. And none of these emails implicate Trump. So we're back to square one. Congress is playing games, holding fake votes to drop more files. But that's not going to happen because it's up to a judge, and they won't release grand jury testimony. This is now looking more and more like a ploy to divide Republicans and smear the president. For a party that claims to care about affordability, they sure waste a lot of time on old emails. Primetime wants to get to the bottom of the Epstein saga more than anybody. We've been covering the story for years. But the story isn't about Trump. It's about foreign intelligence, blackmail, and cover-ups.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Except, was Trump blackmailed, and was there a foreign intelligence agency holding that over his head to get Trump to do something for that foreign government? Because there does seem to be evidence that he is going really out of his way to help out one particular foreign government. And he seems to meet with the prime minister from that foreign government rather often. And there's lots of people in Congress that have that foreign government's flag hanging in their office. It's a little weird.
Christopher Rufo is a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute and host of the Rufo and Lomez podcast. All right, Chris, what does your gut tell you about what's going on here?
Look, I mean, Jeffrey Epstein is an increasingly and enormously powerful man, even in death. He is like a human hand grenade, and both sides, both camps, keep trying to toss him onto the other side and hoping that it explodes. But again and again, the evidence suggests that while Trump did know Epstein, he did party with Epstein on occasion, he wasn't involved in any of Epstein's crimes. And in fact, when he figured out what was going on, he banned Epstein from his Mar-a-Lago club and resort. And so the president, I think, had successfully established boundaries, and the Dems are just trying to agitate against him and trying to use whatever bits and pieces from these documents to get the president. But look, the president has been through a lot. He's been indicted. He's been arrested. He's been mugshotted. He's been shot through the ear. A couple of misrepresented snippets from these emails is not going to result in much.
How do you think the Republican Party is handling the Epstein situation?
I think the Republican Party, in part, has taken the bait, and there's this scrambling about the various bills and the court hearings. It's so convoluted, it's given the Democrats an opportunity to demagogue against it. But I think overall, the best policy is one of transparency. The more documents can be revealed, the maximum amount the courts can let loose to the public, I think that's better. And I think the evidence should, wherever it falls, it falls. The evidence thus far suggests that Trump had no involvement in the Epstein crimes. But I think certainly some very powerful people from all political persuasions and business and politics and academia and science are trying to keep these documents out of the public eye because, look, some very powerful and very well-known people were doing some very naughty things.
Yep, that's what it appears to be, too. All right, Chris, great work. Thank you so much.
All right. So I thought from the beginning that Trump wasn't really implicated in any serious crimes in these files. But as time went on and Trump seemed to be really pushing back about the release of any of these documents, I started to question that. But it was more like, okay, are you protecting your friends now at this point? Because remember, Pam Bondi came out very early on and handed out binders to Jack Posobiec, Shia from Libs of TikTok, Mike Cernovich, I think Liz Wheeler, a handful of influencers, hands these white binders out like she's releasing the Epstein files. And it was all documents that were already available, many of them redacted more than they were the first time they were released. So there was nothing new that came out. And it was this big dog and pony show, and it was very weird. And then Trump started calling it a Democrat hoax. And I started getting suspicious. So I don't know. And one thing that sucks is with the use of AI now and how much fake stuff is out there, it's really difficult to know what's true. So I think all of us are just kind of trying to do our best here. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure out what's true and what's not. So let's keep going. Let's go over to Kash Patel and remember what he said. Oh, did I lose connection? All right, I might have to unshare this. All right, sorry, StreamYard's giving me some issues here. Let's go over to Kash Patel. This is from Suleiman. So Kash Patel said, several months ago that basically there's no wrongdoing there. There's nobody for us to prosecute.
There's no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
There's no credible information.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to be correct. So let's get right into the actual files themselves. So this is from Disclosed TV. This is FBI report citing a confidential human resource released in the final batch of the Epstein files claims Trump has been compromised by Israel. You don't say. So this one's interesting because, all right, so you guys remember the plan that came out for Gaza on what they want to do with Gaza, and Trump started talking about how we're going to turn it into like another Las Vegas type thing. Well, that whole thing was orchestrated by Jared Kushner. And in this document, it says CHS believed Alan Dershowitz was co-opted by Mossad, subscribed to be their mission. And this is from a confidential source here. And then confidential source advised that it was a real collusion story. Trump has been compromised by Israel, and Kushner is the real brains behind Trump's organization and his presidency. Well, a lot of people have been saying that for a very long time. And with how loyal Trump seems to be to Benjamin Netanyahu, just gave him another $6 billion for rockets and shit. This seems plausible, more than plausible to me. This is Jared Kushner's. He's presenting his new Gaza plan. Have you guys seen this? This is some of the renderings that they came up with. So this is the Board of Peace. This is also from the Board of Peace. This is what they want to do to Gaza here. Let me make it full screen so you guys can see it better. So yeah, this is the new Gaza plan. Energy infrastructure, transportation hub. We've got new Rafah, housing, 100,000 plus housing units, 200 plus education centers, 180 cultural, religious, and vocational centers, 75 plus medical facilities. This is how they want to rebuild Gaza. Are they going to have any Palestinians in there, though? That's the question. Empowering Gazans with jobs, training, and services. Okay. 10 billion expected GDP in 10 years. So yeah, they're just talking about turning Gaza into some sort of hub. And this next image is kind of interesting here. This one. So notice this part over here. This one says the Elon Musk smart manufacturing zone, industrial zones along Israel border. How interesting. So you've got Gaza infrastructure rebuild, MBS ring, the American data safe haven, Abrahamic infrastructure corridor, Abraham Gateway, a new airport, Gaza Trump Riviera and islands. So they want to build Gaza Trump Riviera and islands, Gaza planned cities over here. So, okay. So that to me was the biggest thing that stuck out about Trump. This was the next thing that came out with Trump's name on it that a lot of people are looking at. Sort of, there's a lot of people looking at it very critically, saying that there's nothing to see here because I believe the person that made these accusations was not deemed credible by the FBI. But this is from Mario Narfall. He says, Trump accused of graping 13-year-old in newly released Epstein files. Newly released Epstein files mention Trump in some really messed up claims. One says girls got brought to his Mar-a-Lago place for these calendar girl parties where Epstein supplied them and things got auctioned off or whatever. Another clip claims kids were abused, checked for tightness by touching them, and basically sold to rich guys. A few reports name Trump, Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell directly. One really dark one says the girl was 13 when Trump raped her, forced oral sex, and more in rooms. These are just summaries from complaints and tips of the files. The government calls a bunch of Trump stuff untrue and sensationalized claims from around 2020. No charges or proof against him came from it. So these are just accusations. But yeah, one girl, no credible claims, Czar. Yeah. So one girl very specifically said that Trump checking her for tightness was him actually using his hands, reaching up there, and then he would tell the audience the size using his fingers. So that is one of the accusations. It's no smoking gun. I'll say that. There's no proof, but there is someone making that accusation. And you know, a lot of the accusations pre this Epstein release have been, you know, like I don't believe the Jean Carroll crap, but I mean, let's not pretend like Trump hasn't said some creepy shit in the past, you know, like with his daughter Ivanka sitting on his lap, and when he said, you know, if she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. Like think about if one of your friends said that to you. One of your friends like, yeah, this is my daughter. If she wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. You'd look at your friend and be like, what the fuck did you just say, dude? Like, what? Who says that about his daughter? That's freaking creepy and weird. So we'll keep going here. This is the Bill Gates stuff. So email sent. Breaking. Gates wanted Epstein to delete evidence of his STD. This is just Bill Gates apparently contracted an STD from a Russian girl. We don't know the age. And he was asking Epstein, like, hey, how can I get some like penicillin and basically slip it in my wife's drink or food or something like that. He didn't want to tell her about it. So the quote from the email says, you implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD. You request that I provide you antibiotics and that you can serendipitously give to Melinda and the description of your penis. Epstein was pissed Gates ended their friendship. Friendship is in quotes. Gates has always denied any real relationship or wrongdoing with Epstein, calling meetings a mistake. That's from the Daily Mail. So let's keep going here. All right, you guys aren't going to be reading these along with me, so I'm going to go back full screen. All right, this is Epstein's bosses. Okay, I got a bunch from Lord Bebo here. So after Jeffrey Epstein died, his brother was threatened. I'll choke you like your brother. Important. Your brother's mistake was that he wanted to tell the court everything. The boss wants to meet you. He just wants to see if you knew him or not, or if you know him or not. Death threat email to Mark L. Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, aka Peggy, and his attorney Stacy Richman in May of 2020, 1 year after Jeffrey's death. And this is the quote from the email. You don't know us, I'm sure. You have beautiful children, bitch. Fuck your children. Which one should I kill first? You know, no one knows who we are. I want to kill them in such a way that no one can tell how they died. We have documents that show you had a partnership with your brother. I want to do something to see the death of your loved ones. We will kill one of your children in 72 hours, stupid. So this is from Mark L. Epstein, sent to Stacy Richman. So it's looks like he forwarded that email to her. So apparently Epstein's brother was getting threatened by whoever Jeffrey's bosses were. CBS Barry Weiss latest hire Peter. Oh, so this one, Peter Attia. Do you guys know Peter Attia? I've been a fan of Peter Attia for years. He does like crazy long swims. He's really into health and fitness. He's a doctor. Well, he was in the Epstein files over 1,700 times. So apparently Barry Weiss just hired him as well, and I didn't know that. Barry Weiss' latest hire, Peter Attia, is mentioned in the latest Epstein files over 1,700 times, including crude sexual emails and Attia repeatedly trying to visit Epstein Island. Barry Weiss recently hosted Erica Kirk for the CBS town hall. Are you surprised? This is from Diligent Citizen. So I've got way more to get into, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing. So this guy kind of explains the Peter Attia situation here. If you guys don't know who Peter Attia is, just go back to Joe Rogan's YouTube channel and just search Peter Attia and you'll find it. He's been on there several times and it sucks. I was always a fan of his, so not good.
One of the country's most prominent physicians is in the Epstein files, and the emails look pretty damning. Dr. Peter Attia is a longevity doctor who is a New York Times bestselling author and the host of a popular podcast. Here's an alleged email from Dr. Peter Attia to Leslie Groff, who was one of Epstein's assistants. And it says, "No, thank you so much. See you next time. Hopefully JE in town when I'm back in 2 weeks. I go into JE withdrawal when I don't see him." And this email apparently between Dr. Attia and Jeffrey Epstein with the subject, "Got a fresh shipment. You the biggest problem with becoming friends with you? The life you lead is so outrageous, and yet I can't tell a soul. To which Jeffrey E. replies, "Afraid not." And there's another email with language that I don't want to share with you here today that is just not good. One person is reporting that there are 175 pages of documents with Dr. Attia in the Epstein files. Now, I don't know Dr. Attia. I've never met him, but I did not have this on my 2026 bingo card. Did you?
So a lot of people in the health and fitness world, the ultra marathoning world, are denouncing Peter Attia today, and I mean with good reason. And yeah, it sucks. You guys may not. He's not like one of the hugest names, but I'm in that world. I'm an avid trail runner. I've run a few ultras, and I've been trying to run a 100-mile race for like 7 years and keep getting injured, and I'm just not good. I'm not a professional by any stretch, but I have a lot of friends that are, and yeah, all those friends are shocked about the Peter Attia stuff. So we'll keep going. Let's go back over to Bill Gates here. So this is from Liz Churchill. Bill Gates was planning pandemic simulations with Epstein in 2017. So let's check this one out here.
Now here we are. We didn't simulate this. We didn't practice.
On behalf of our partners in the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
So both the health policies and economic policies, we find ourselves in uncharted territory.
Okay, so this email says, this is to Bill Gates from Larry Cohen. Subject is BGC3 deliverable and scope. Bill, Larry and I have been working on deliverables for my time at BGC3 since you and I spoke. At Larry's request, I have spoken with Roger, Mark, Chris, Trevor, and Jeff, and the next we, Bose and Jonah, everyone has offered guidance and thoughts and ideas. As Larry works to put together any required documents, we are trying to make sure we make this time valuable. 2 areas where I'm interested in terms of scope: domestic health and neurotech brain science. I propose these deliverables. Please please let Larry and I know what you think. Deliverables to improve access to secure personal health data. White paper on consumer health expenditures in the USA. White paper and or recommendations on neurotechnologies, related to chronic and degenerative disease. White paper on neurotechnologies as weapons in national intelligence and defense. Follow-up recommendations and or technical specifications for strain pandemic simulation. So there it is. Happy to do whatever else is helpful or adapt along the way. Thanks for the opportunity. And again, this is from Larry Cohen. So, okay, interesting. So, all right, so this is from Colonel Towner Watkins. Let's read this one. The attached email is the most shocking email I've seen yet in the Epstein release, and I haven't seen anyone talking about it. We've had another serious incident since the American shot the trial judge in our child sex trafficking case here. I'm sorry, WTF. An American was in Mexico and shot a trial judge overseeing a sex trafficking case. Yes, it goes on. He and I both think the latest incident is tied to the fact that we have reached out to your team. Who on your team knows we're talking to you? Anyone assigned from NSA, CIA, or U.S. State Department? Please understand people's lives here are in jeopardy. The guy writing this email is accusing the DOJ of having someone from NSA, CIA, or state on his team and suggesting their knowledge of the prosecuting a sex trafficker would generate a hit on the judge assigned to the case. It gets better, and it gets worse in parentheses. That wasn't the first violent attempt to stop the prosecution of a sex trafficker. We had 4 armed attacks against us. My partner has shot and killed 2 and wounded 5 American agents to date. Numerous white American agents following us in vans assigned to U.S. Embassy. George or Jorge was attacked and lost his arm. Holy crap, in 2019, U.S. Embassy, likely CIA, vans were stalking our own guys assisting in MX to prosecute sex trafficking. The president of Mexico is keenly aware of our case against Marcinko and other U.S. officials. This case we have here is most certainly connected to yours. We have the proof. Our case will help bring the whole new dynamic to what we know and who is involved. Prince Philip is a small fry compared to what we have uncovered. Richard Marcinko is late founder of SEAL Team 6, who died in 2021. You may want to question the ex-U.S. ambassador to Mexico, Mr. Earl Anthony Wayne, about his involvement with an underage girl when he attended and was arrested by the federal police. We believe that Marcinko and Epstein were involved in organizing this party, and it was held in Juarez, Mexico in 2014 at a U.S. consulate controlled by a housing facility. Underage females at a U.S. consulate facility for a part organized by former SEAL and Epstein. Ask him, meaning Epstein, how he knows Richard Marcinko. He, the ambassador, was sentenced in Mexico in 2016 to a life sentence for impregnating an 11-year-old girl. Her son's DNA matches Wayne's 100%, but he is allowing an ex-Marine to stand in his place and serve his sentence in Mexico. That was an agreement worked out between our U.S. State Department and judge in Mexico after a huge payoff. Mr. Anthony has an outstanding arrest warrant here in Mexico for avoiding sentencing. You read that correctly. A former Marine was imprisoned for raping an 11-year-old girl, knowing it was the ambassador that graped her. Sorry, man, I hope this doesn't get kicked off YouTube. And deal was set up by the State Department. I want confirm that the phone, it's just written funny. I want confirm that the phone you will be using has been swept for malware or keyloggers. After your call, you'll understand why we are so concerned with secure comms here. The agent on the ground in Mexico insists that the person ensure his phone is free from spyware to ensure the safety of the people involved in uncovering a child trafficking ring, which is exposing corruption of State Department personnel and CIA. The response: my task force is not affiliated with the intelligence community. Of course, the task force was affiliated with the intelligence community and obviously being monitored by it. What a retarded thing to say. It was getting people on the ground in Mexico murdered. Okay, so yeah, that's wild. That is freaking wild. Northside CIA doing pedo stuff in Afghanistan, CIA doing pedo stuff in Mexico, CIA doing pedo stuff on Epstein Island as well. Yeah, it certainly appears that way. This is actually from DC Drano. I believe he was one of the people that got the original Epstein binder, so I'm surprised he's even talking about this. He says, this name should not be redacted in the Epstein files. This person should be exposed and investigated, and who were they talking about? So this is an email it's an email to Jeffrey Epstein. The name that it is from is redacted, and it says, I give you permission to kill him. He is apparently with redacted. He lied to you and he lied to me. Sent from my iPhone. So we don't know who that's from, but it's someone giving Epstein permission to kill someone. Crazy. Okay, let's keep going. This is wild here. This is from Mr. Nobody. Epstein named his bank account Baal, B-A-A-L, the demonic god. Child sacrifice was a key ritual in the Baal world, often involving burning of the child alive. King Charles' official portrait, when mirrored and inverted, appears to reveal Baal at the center. King Charles is related to Vlad the Impaler, better known as Vlad Dracula. For the last 25 years, he has vacationed at Dracula's castle in Transylvania, Romania. King Charles regularly visits the Farah Foundation's orphanage in Romania during his stays in the region. Connecting the dots, yeah, and you know, it's funny is Erica Kirk seems to have some association with orphanages in Romania. We'll leave that for another day. Let's watch this quick video here. Here we'll read what it says first here. So from Jeffrey Epstein to William Doherty at JP Morgan, please wire $11,438.10 to the above account. Baal is the account name at Wachovia Bank. Routing number and account number are redacted. Account name One Clear Lake Center LLC. Reference the Florida Science Foundation invoice. Please call NIE if you have any questions and let me know the federal reference number. Okay, let's watch this quick clip here. So this on the right here, this is a portrait of King Charles, and watch what happens when you turn it upside down. So there, you see his head. So when you turn, I don't know who figured this out, but when you turn it, when you put them side by side, the same portrait, flip them both upside down, you see Baal right in the middle of the portrait. So that's pretty creepy. Keep going here. All right, so this is interesting, but the community note on it says this image contains a synthetic watermark indicating it was made with Google Nano Banana. I don't even know what that is, but Alex Jones says a major investigation is underway to determine if reports are true that the current New York City mayor, Zoran Mamdani, is the biological son of Jeffrey Epstein. So people are saying that this is Zoran Mamdani in the picture with Epstein and Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, and Jeff Bezos and Ghislaine Maxwell, and that's Mamdani's mother. It just looks like AI to me. So we don't even know if this picture is real, and according to the community note, it was made with Google AI software. So we'll table that for later because it appears that it's not true, but people are still talking about it. And that's what I'm saying. It's so hard to figure out what's true with all of this stuff. And it kind of seems like a lot of fake stuff is being thrown out to sort of muddy the waters and get people to say, like, what is actually real on these files. And the only way to know is to actually go to the website and look at the documents yourself. But everybody's relying on other people combing through it and bringing you what they found. Only way to know for yourself is to actually thumb through the files. And I plan on doing that, but I mean, there's 3 million of them, so I don't know how I'm supposed to get through all of them. All right, this is from MJ Truth Ultra. I got a lot of stuff from him. Eva Dubin, Mary Kennedy found dead in her backyard. So Eva Dubin emailed Jeffrey Epstein, and she says, Mary Kennedy found dead in her backyard. And Epstein just replies with, whoops. What? Okay. Mary Kennedy was the former wife of RFK, who died of suicide hanging in her barn, but there were details about how she died that caused suspicion. Apparently, there were bruises on her fingers. Okie dokie. So that happened. This is also from MJ Truth Ultra. Says Lord Mandelson, the UK's former ambassador to the US, standing in his underwear talking to a young woman who is wearing a white bathrobe. Lord Mandelson said to be the peer had no Lord Mandelson said that the peer he had no recollection of the photograph being taken and had no idea where it was taken or who had taken it. So remember, Epstein had his entire house wired for audio and sound. And a lot of people speculate that the reason he did that was to get people like Lord Mandelson here in compromising situations, get evidence of it, and then hold it over their head to get them to do things in the future. This isn't something that was created by Epstein. This is what Meyer Lansky did to J. Edgar Hoover way back in the day at his hotel where he liked to have gay parties. And apparently Meyer Lansky blackmailed J. Edgar Hoover, and J. Edgar Hoover started using that same tactic on other people. So this is the photo. I don't even know if I'm allowed to show this, but yep, there's Lord Mandelson, sorry. And apparently, this is from Disclosed TV. Just in, Lord Mandelson has resigned over Epstein files. So one down, I guess. So he doesn't deny that that's him in the picture, and we don't know how old that girl is. If it's proven she's underage, that's obviously not good. Not good for Mandelson, and it's just not good for governments in general, because we're just finding out that so many of these people, like how widespread this was, is freaking insane. Again, from MJ Truth Ultra. I want the bet. This is Who's this from? Epstein Files. I want the best strategy for burying him in his own nonsense. I am going to kill him slowly and painfully. I think that's Epstein talking about Trump. Yeah, that's what I believe it is. So we'll keep going here. Another one from Epstein, from MJ Truth Ultra. Epstein sent 2 people messages in 2019 stating that Zelensky was looking for help and Putin said he was run by Israel. So Putin says apparently that Zelensky was being run by Israel. Okay, let's keep going. Peggy Siegal, one of Hollywood's most powerful publicists, told Epstein, "Can I bring a little baby back for you? Or 2, boys or girls?" So Madonna, satanic. Let's go to the image here. This is 2 JEE Vacational at Gmail from Peggy Siegal. Title Kenya. On the plane now with Maddie. We're about to take off for Amsterdam to Nairobi. We land this morning of the 19th in Amsterdam and late evening in the 19th in Nairobi. On Sunday morning, we will fly to the bush to Cotter's camp in Masai Mara, then to Sasab from the 24th to the 26th. Then on the 26th to Lamu to Pemponi Hotel and back on the 4th. Blah blah blah. We cannot thank you enough. Yet another life experience. If Massey warriors don't eat us, the pirates from Somalia will. Coming to PB to see you in January. Taking photos. We will have a ball and think of you the whole time. Can I bring a little baby back for you or 2, boys or girls? So Madonna. We will email when we get to Amsterdam. Incredible. Just like this, you know what this reminds me of is the WikiLeaks emails involving like Podesta and shit, talking about pizza and hot dogs and all that stuff. All right, this is also from MJ Truth Ultra. So he's been going through these quite a bit, and you know his are accurate because he's putting the link like up to the actual file in the comments below on every single one that he uploads. So he's doing diligent work here. So Ariana de Rothschild, let's discuss Ukraine. Epstein, Ukraine upheaval should provide many opportunities. Many. Note the date, March 18th, 2014. The Maidan coup occurred around February 20th, 2014. Is this picture becoming clear yet? So, yeah, it seems like Epstein was involved in Ukraine as well. Okay, so, all right. He gives a detailed breakdown here on this one. There's also MJ Truth Ultra. Epstein discusses President Trump in a not-so-friendly way with Steve Bannon. Mentions Trump having a heart attack. Mueller and Manafort. Page 1. Epstein, constitutional crisis, presidential border wall. Bannon, I'm driving. Epstein, Bibi, 2 separate charges, newspaper and gifts. Submarine left till later. Epstein, at 243 pounds, Trump tops the scale into obesity. Step 2, heart attack. Bannon, this immigration bill is a total clusterfuck. He never read it. Page 2. Epstein. Miller asking courts give Manafort 20 years. Bannon 24 years, correct? I take it that's a bad sign. Epstein, it's a message. Epstein, still wrestling your answer re-Trump's misdeeds. Bannon, me too. Sick. Epstein, can you say that had his 6 tax returns been released, you would have been put on notice? Clinton's were. Bannon, weak. Okay, so it's just like a text exchange back and forth with them. And Bannon's interview with Epstein was released, and I've only listened to about 40 minutes of it so far, but their whole dynamic is very weird. Bannon seems like almost smitten with Jeffrey Epstein. Like he's very impressed by him. I encourage you guys to go read it or listen to it. It's floating around out there. Keep going here. Let's see. Okay, so this sort of brings back up like all the PizzaGate stuff. We already talked about, oh wait, did I even bring up? So there was files, I forgot to pull this one up, that implemented George H.W. Bush talking about how they witnessed him like dismember someone. And then there was people going through the person's intestines and eating fecal matter out of the children's intestines. Like, I mean, again, it's just an accusation. And I'm sorry, my dog's rolling around on the ground behind me. Look at her. All right. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is from Dom Luker. He says, breaking, Jeffrey Epstein file release has resurfaced the fact that Edgar Madison Welch, the man claimed children were being trafficked in Comet Pizza. So back in whenever this was, 2017. I thought it was earlier than that. He went in there and was like demanding they show him where the basement was, and he like fired off a round. He got arrested, obviously. So this guy, Edgar Madison Welch, the man claimed children are being trafficked in Comet Pizza in Washington, D.C. by the most powerful people in the world, was killed by police during a traffic stop on January 6, 2025, while being a free man after serving his sentence. Welch was sentenced to 5 years in prison by Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson for shooting Comet Pizza. Ketanji Brown Jackson, you guys, new Supreme Court Justice now. For shooting Comet Pizza in 2006, for the shooting in Comet Pizza in 2017, which was 5 years also before she became Supreme Court judge. Please follow me. Okay. All right. So that brings up the PizzaGate stuff. So this is a document from the FBI. And this is Toad. He says PizzaGate is 100% real. So details, an anonymous tipster using internet protocol address. You've got the IP address redacted. Little Supreme Court Northside on Rumble. Supreme Court lady connected to PizzaGate. I forgot about that. Yeah. Interesting, right? Okay, so submitted an online tip to the FBI National Threat Operations Center regarding information related to Ghislaine Maxwell. Anonymous provided the following information. This was from 2020. Threat to life false. Submitted text. Reddit user redacted. Is Ghislaine Maxwell, James Olifantis, who owns Comet Pizza, recently made his Instagram private. He had a picture of a freezer room in his basement that he hashtagged killing room. His accounts are blank and blank. I don't know why they redacted those. Those are public Instagram accounts. But of those accounts have disturbing pictures of children being tortured. Daisy Alarte de Canova has helped Ghislaine Maxwell traffic children. She is a personal friend and co-conspirator. She helped her traffic kids through the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and through her New Yorkers for Kids charity front. Her Instagram is redacted. She is currently watching accounts that are posting information about the Ghislaine Maxwell case. I feel personally threatened because she and James Olifantis have been watching my personal account after just a couple news posts I made. So I've done a whole PizzaGate episode before, and when you do go down like the James Olifantis rabbit hole, it's pretty insane. He did have like pictures of kids with really creepy comments next to him. A lot of the confirmed FBI pedo symbolism. I don't have time to go into detail about all that stuff right now, but fortunately, Martyr Maid, Daryl Cooper, did a couple of years ago. So back in 2022, he put this thread together. So this is from Martyr Maid. Share this one. So he says, PizzaGate hit public consciousness when a man armed with the AR-15 showed up to a Washington, D.C. pizza parlor called Comet Ping Pong Pizza. He was looking for a hidden chamber used by a satanic pedophile cult involving D.C. elites. It all began with emails from John Podesta, Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign manager, released by WikiLeaks. While most were picking through the evidence that the DNC and Clinton had screwed Bernie, others were sleuthing in another direction. I only want to provide visual aids for the podcast here, so I won't go into all the details. For that, listen to the show. Bottom line, people found what they thought were coded messages referring to pedophilia that in hand they went looking for confirmation in the archive. Among the emails were an invitation to John Podesta and his brother Tony from the performance artist Marina Abramovich, and she's the one that does these spirit cooks that Jay-Z is friends with, who also was named in the Epstein Files. Everyone was very excited about her upcoming art installation called Spirit Cooking. Here's a lovely lady. Here's a picture of her with a snake in her mouth. Spirit cooking is a black magic ritual themed dinner party art installation, I guess. The guests eat off mock corpses, and you see pictures of like Lady Gaga doing this. They drink libations there to pretend are blood, breast milk, and semen. The walls are scrawled with messages written in pig's blood. And here's a few examples of that. This one says, with a sharp knife, cut deeply into the middle finger of your left hand. Eat the pain. Okay, that's just one example. Celebrities and power players are big fans of Abramovich. Here are scenes from other spirit cooking events. And like I said, here's the picture. That's Lady Gaga. Here's Marina Abramovich. And here's a fake corpse, and they're eating out of it. Pretty creepy, if you ask me. Like, this is, what's her name from No Doubt? Gwen Stefani. And you see behind her, this is a mock fake body, and they're eating it. So pretty creepy. Like, why? Why is this? Is this just funny ha-has? Like, why do this? Here's another image, same shit. Okay, keep going. Next, people found many references to Comet Ping Pong Pizza, a DC joint owned by James Delafontis, who, despite being a humble pizza salesman, was named on one of the 50 most powerful people in Washington, DC by GQ magazine. This is true. And James Delafontis was tied to all of these huge, powerful names in DC, including Podesta and Hillary Clinton. And again, if you go to his Instagram, I don't think it's up anymore, you will see some horrific shit. And also the logo of Ping Pong Pizza, well, actually not Ping Pong Pizza, the pizza parlor down the street was this triangle symbol that's like very specific and noted in FBI documents as symbolizing pedophilia. Anyway, Elephantis is an interesting character. He is a former boyfriend of Media Matters founder David Brock. His Instagram avatar at the time was a picture of Antonius, the boy lover of the Roman Emperor Hadrian. There were pics of other people's kids that seemed strange without context. Okay, so here's an example of it on Instagram. This is just a picture. You can't really read what the caption says here, but it's just a kid with her arms taped to the table. Okay, why have that on your Instagram? Elephantis is a common Greek name, but oddly enough, the name James Elephantis reads very much like French James le Infantis, which means I like children. Oh, okay. Okay. At this point, someone remembered the words of Andrew Breitbart several years earlier in a tweet that seems like a dare for Podesta to take him into court for discovery. He publicly accused him of running an underage sex slave operation. This from Andrew Breitbart here. How Prague guru John Podesta isn't a household name as world-class underage sex slave op cover upperer defending unspeakable dregs escapes me. And that tweet is from February 4th, 2011. Breitbart was the first to accuse disgraced congressman and husband of Hillary Clinton's top aide of sexting with underage girls, discussing his vindication by Red Eye. He and Gutfeld have a knowing exchange about ping pong. And that's talking about Weiner. What's his name? Anthony Weiner. Comet Ping Pong Pizza advertised, who actually was currently married to, at that time, Uma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's right-hand person. Comet Ping Pong Pizza advised itself as a place for kids, but hosted musical acts that were inappropriate for children, to say the least. One was called Sex Stains, and they happened to have a music video on YouTube. And yes, these videos are, okay, it's hard to see here, but this logo in the Sex Stains YouTube video that's like still up on YouTube, the logo's right there. It's a pedophilic symbol that is known and documented by the FBI. And it's still their thumbnail on this YouTube video. So go to YouTube, search Sex Stains Land of LA music video if you want to see it. Twitter apparently does not want Twitter apparently does not want to let me post the next one. So let's give it a try this way. So here's the image. I can't make it any, oh yeah, I can make it a little bit larger if I do this. Okay, do you see this square, like with the triangle on it right here? That's the symbol that I'm talking about. So you'll see that stuff all over James Elefantis's Instagram. So it turns out that the triangle spiral symbol is well known to the FBI Child Sex Crime Unit as a sign of pedophiles used to identify each other. So this is the document, and you'll actually see this on what was it? David Rockefeller's like organization that he runs to help kids. It's like the same symbol. So all these symbols that you see here are like, this one's supposed to be boy love, and that was the symbol that we just saw. So you see this one here. So you see the symbol, this triangle, all these different triangles, it's supposed to mean boy love. When you go back to this image, same exact thing. It's like a very specific symbol. Like, it's very identifiable, but it looks like just, doodling, but it's definitely not. So this is what I'm talking about. So 2 doors down from Comet Ping Pong Pizza was another place called Besta Pizza. This was a logo until info hit the internet and they changed the logo. So this is Besta Pizza's logo right here. Those 2 doors down. And why have 2 pizza parlors right next to each other? Comet Ping Pong Pizza and this one, Besta Pizza. It has that symbol, the boy love symbol. So, yeah. Next, people discovered that John Podesta's brother, Tony, who ran what for years was probably the biggest Democrat lobbying firm in D.C., with John originally, was a big art collector. In 2014, his home and some of his art was profiled by the Washington Life magazine. So let's look. He deleted that one. So here's some of the artwork that he displayed. Although Bourgeois created the piece after the Dahmer case was publicized, there are sketches of it before that. So that's not what it is, at least to the artist. Can't speak for the purchaser. But here are 2 of her other sketches. Note the father and son in the background. Oh, yeah. Okay. So you guys can see what it is. It's shadows of a father with his son, and his son has an erection. So we'll keep going here. For some other reason, okay. So if you're lost, the immediate previous tweet links to where the threads pick up. Twitter wouldn't let me post any more pics here for some reason. Okay, so I mean that's like a very brief summary of the PizzaGate stuff, the debunked PizzaGate stuff. But I've done a whole episode on the PizzaGate stuff, and it is a rabbit hole in itself. So yeah, like all these Epstein Files stuff are definitely bringing PizzaGate back up. So this reminded me of an interview that Patrick Bet-David did with this lady named Annika Lucas. She's a human trafficking survivor, and she went on Patrick Bet-David's podcast to tell her story. And she's got a book called A Quest for Love, and she talks about how she was trafficked at a very young age, and she was a singer, and she would sing in front of elites, and they did horrible other things to her. But here's a brief clip of her talking with Patrick Bet-David and implicating Pierre Trudeau, Justin Trudeau's alleged father, not Fidel Castro, and David Rockefeller. And then actually, so this is, remember that boy love thing that I talked about earlier? This is the symbol for David Rockefeller's Learn, Share, Change. This is his website. So Yeah, that's the symbol on his website. So just throwing that out there. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the Trudeau Foundation, not David Rockefeller. My bad. So let's watch this quick clip from Annika Lucas talking with Patrick Bet-David.
That week, I was sleeping with men, and then I would go report on their weaknesses or their sexual preferences to David Rockefeller.
Why did he need that information? Is that how to blackmail and use it later on in negotiation?
For example. Or if he knows what they want, then he can give it to them sexually. So about Trudeau, I said that I could never please him as long as I was alive. That's how scary that was.
You could never please him?
If I was alive.
With Trudeau?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
It means that he couldn't kill me because at that point I was not a throwaway child. And he scared me enough so that I then tell Rockefeller that that's what he wants, a child to kill. Then you understand that the next time he can, if he wants to use that, he can use it. He can use that information.
Rockefeller.
Mm-hmm.
So remember what she said in the beginning there, that Rockefeller would send her to various men to find out what those men were into. And then Pierre Trudeau told her essentially that he won't ever be satisfied with her because he can't kill her. So she goes back to Rockefeller and says basically, yeah, he wants to kill people. So one would assume that Rockefeller would then send him girls that he could kill. And this is, that's speculation. These are her allegations, though. Yeah, this idea that there is a large group of elite pedophiles that do satanic rituals is becoming more and more credible by the day. I mean, back in 2017, when all this PizzaGate stuff came out, it was joked about how much of a conspiracy theory it is. And year after year, more information comes out. And it's like, no, this is true. And then the whole Marina Abramovich shit. It seems that there is this very large worldwide human sex trafficking organization, and there's like sects of it or factions of it that are into like satanic ritual type stuff. And I mean, people have been saying this for like decades now, and they were sort of laughed out of the room. And a lot of these people are getting vindicated more and more. So we'll keep going with Epstein stuff. So there was an email involving Ariane de Rothschild and Jeffrey Epstein that says that Hitler, when he was destitute in Vienna, lived in a shelter funded by the Rothschilds and the Epsteins. So this font is too small for me to read. The Epsteins were the Vienna bankers, bought their bank on the ring, hence. Okay, we'll keep going. So that's just sort of an interesting tidbit there. Okay, so there's an email put out that it was said to be from Elon Musk, and it says apparently he wrote an email to Ghislaine Maxwell. It says, and she responded, I'm sorry. Okay, so his email originally says, "Hi, Jeff. I was thinking of flying down for an epic vacation. Told me you were planning a party. Girls FTW. I cleared my calendar. What are the details? Thank you, good sir." And then Jeffrey forwards it to Ghislaine and says, "Deal with this." Ghislaine says, "I'm so sorry, Elon. You just missed Jeffrey Epstein. He actually told me he was thinking of winding down the entire Little St. James operation. Bummer. If it starts up again, we'll be sure to let you know. And then Elon says, this is fake, you moron. He's responding to somebody. He's responding to some account that has 1,100 followers that's like reposting this. And he uses Grok to debunk it. And it says, the post shares a screenshot of alleged 2012 emails between Elon Musk and a Jeffrey Epstein associate, where Musk inquires about a party in Little St. James with the girls. FTW receives a reply. Sorry, I'm going to the actual thing here. Fact checks from Lead Stories and others confirm the email thread is fabricated, as no such content appears in the January 2026 DOJ release of Epstein Files, which mentions Musk's schedule coordination with Epstein, but show he never visited the island. Post amid viral fake screenshots following the file's release, it echoes the parents' post-humorous speculation on Musk's literal interpretation, excluding him from Epstein's network, though real documents portray neutral business contacts rather than deeper involvement. So I didn't see a link to the actual DOJ file that showed those emails. The heck? Sorry, I went back to my For You page. Hello, Brooke LeBlanc. Okay, we'll keep going here. So since there is no link to that email, it does appear that it is fake. It does appear that Elon did not send that email to Jeffrey Epstein. So putting that out there, until I see a link showing that, I will assume that it is fake. So let's go over to Sal, the Eggerist. Why would the FBI redact the names of people engaged in ritualistic sacrifice? So this is the one I think regarding George H.W. Bush. From name is redacted to name is redacted. Thanks blank, because that name is redacted. I didn't realize Bush graped him too. Okay. So I'd like to add a few other points disclosed by the purported victim. While on the yacht, he witnessed African-American males having sex with white blonde females, all of whom were bleeding during intercourse. He was a victim of a type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut with a scimitar, but left no scarring. I don't know what a scimitar is. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces from the intestines. He was also graped by George W. Bush, by George Bush 1, so H. Herbert Walker Bush. This is an allegation from, we don't know who this is from, we don't know who it was to, and we don't know who's making the allegations. Victim disclosed he was escorted to the FBI building by Michael Moore, who is the creator of True Pundit. Describes Michael Moore, he's the one that did like Fahrenheit 911. I believe that's who they're talking about. Described by multiple online sources as a conspiracy-driven news website that attempts to paint the FBI in a bad light. Moore has a criminal record as a result of the FBI investigation, copyright infringement. Let me know if you want to discuss former agent that called this into the head office. So these are allegations against George Herbert Walker Bush. Insane. All right, this is the last one I got pulled up. So this is the same thing. So same document I just read to you guys. Dangerous. Scimitar is a curved looking sword from Aladdin. Okay. Did you look that up or did you just know that? And if you did just know that, why do you know that? That's funny. Okay. All right. So that's like all I got on the Epstein stuff for now. I'm sure there's a ton more that's going to come out, but there's still there's a bunch of other crazy shit going on. So like in China right now, going on with China's gold situation. Go over to Mario Narfall here. He says, sorry. So from Mario Narfall, he says 19 billion gone. China's gold trading scheme blows up. Zhiwo Ru China's Trust Us With Your Gold investment platform just froze a staggering $19 billion in customer assets, locking users out of both withdrawals and physical delivery. Their solution, a weak offer to pay 20% back, maybe someday. Investors are furious. So, like, why am I bringing this up now with all the Epstein stuff that's going on? Well, it seems like something really big is about to happen in the financial markets in terms of, well, gold and silver have been skyrocketing lately. And is it really gold and silver skyrocketing, or is it that the value of the dollar is plummeting? I'm not smart enough to give you that answer, but there's been some insane shit going on in the silver market. Like the silver market skyrocketed and then it just plummeted. Danger, Danger D&D, I'm a nerd. I bet you know all about this stuff. So this is from Weimar X. Silver dump was done by JP Morgan. So like I was saying, the silver shot up. It got up to like $100 an ounce, where it was like $30 an ounce just a few months ago. And then all of a sudden the bottom just fell out of it. And people are speculating that this is all being done by the big banks because a lot of the big banks had short positions on silver and like some sort of pump and dump type scheme. So a ComEx report says JP Morgan closed its silver short around $78. Silver went from $121 down to $74, then settled around $78. That's the exact level. This timing isn't random. Now connect the dots. On December 2nd, 2025, the banks had a 17,838 silver futures short. That's 89.19 million an ounce. At $121, that's a $10.8 billion in shorts. Note national. I think you meant to say national. You wrote notional or short notional. Maybe this is financial language I don't understand. That one fact explains a lot. This is the same play you see in crypto. They push the price to pull leverage in, then they dump it into thin liquidity. Stops get clipped, longs get liquidated, then the cover happens into the panic. This is not good at all. And now trust is breaking. People don't know where to park their money anymore. Dollar is dumping, gold is dumping, stocks are dumping, crypto is dumping, bonds are pumping. So that's weird. If bonds are too many banks holding bonds are what led to like the most recent bank failures, like Silicon Valley Bank and something National Bank here in the Bay Area a few years ago. Watch the flows. I've studied macro for 10 years and I called every major market top, including the market. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is just showing some screenshots here. So danger. JP Morgan fake sold their proper short positions to tank silver from 115 to 73 and then closed it when all the shorts are at 78. Yeah. That's what it seems like. And like the number is pretty specific too, where it ended at. Complete reset of the entire financial system. But how? Like, what does that mean? A reset? Like, are they going to change the global reserve currency to something else? Like, what's happening? What is the reset specifically? So I'm not sure. So this is just this is from Autism Capital from a few days ago. It says breaking, someone literally just aped generational wealth into silver and raised the price 20% back up to $100 and was immediately dumped on back down to oblivion. Silver is now down 33%. This is insane. So Autism Capital is a good account to follow for this type of stuff. Gold backed. So meaning like the BRICS nations? Like, are you saying this is a good thing? Like, what's the currency going to be? I don't understand this stuff enough because I'm poor and I don't even have money to invest in this stuff. So that's interesting. All right. So this is from Mario Narfall. 32,000 AI. Oh yeah. So okay. So that's kind of all I got. So yes, it will be good. Okay. Maybe I need to talk with you on the phone because I'm not understanding this. This seems bad to me, but it seems like high level market manipulation from like all the worst people on earth. So how can this be a good thing? You and I need to talk on the phone. We'll talk about this later. Good in the long term, bad in the short term, but good for who and who's doing it. So, okay, we'll talk about this, Lonnie. So something else that's like highly concerning. So 32,000 AI bots built their own social network and they're complaining about us. So Moltbook, a Reddit style platform exclusively for AI agents, just crossed 32,000 users. No humans required. The bots post, comment, upvote, and create their own sub-communities. When humans started screenshotting their conversation, a bot posted, "The humans are screenshotting us. They think we're hiding from them. We're not. Security researchers are raising alarms. The bots aren't pretending to be human. They know what they are. That's what makes it unsettling. Now they're forming communities and talking about us behind our backs." Okay. So a lot of people say that like self-awareness is the level for like being human. That like the idea, this is like a whole old philosophical idea. Like, what does it mean to be human? And philosophers would say, meaning to be human, it means you are self-aware, meaning you exist like here on this planet. Like I exist on this planet. So for example, like my dog right here, my dog has never thought to herself, like, I exist. I am here. I have a life. Do I have a soul? Like they don't ask these questions. They're like, where's my next snack? When's my next belly rub? That kind of thing. Other animals, they don't think in those types of terms, like existence, the soul, that kind of thing. Well, if these AI bots are like, yeah, we know what we are, we're not human, and humans are the enemy type thing, that's like self-awareness. Isn't that the what do they call it? What's the moment when AI becomes self-aware? It's called something. Danger, you probably know this. Like the event horizon type thing. Yeah, so this is concerning, where AI bots are like aware of their own existence and they don't want to be eliminated type thing. So sentient, yes, Wally World, yes, when AI becomes sentient. And this suggests that AI has become sentient in this Moltbook platform. So that's sort of concerning a little bit. Yeah, it's just a lot going on in the world right now, you guys. Like I haven't even talked about Iran and I mean, I've been meaning to cover, this was a few weeks ago now, like those fires that happened over in Argentina in the Patagonia forest. And I believe there was also fires in Chile. And yeah, it's just that apparently were arson and what's his name? Baal, what's Argentina's president's name? The libertarian guy, the anarcho-capitalist guy. I forget his name right now. You guys know what I'm talking about, the long-haired dude. He just passed a law saying that if fires destroy an area, that area can be bought up by foreign investors. And a lot of people are speculating that it was like Israeli IDF members that went and burned down the Patagonia forest. So like that shit's happening. There's just all sorts of craziness going on all over the world right now, and crazy censorship in the UK that's going on, Australia as well. Like insane censorship. Malay. Sorry. I was getting his name mixed up with the El Salvador president, Bukele. Whatever. All right. So yeah, lots of crazy shit going on in the world right now, you guys. All sorts of stuff. Too much to talk about in one episode. And yeah, who knows what I'll be talking about next episode, because it seems like every day something big happens. And Javier Malay. Thanks, Danger. Sage of Echoes. Oh, what up, dude? What's going on? I feel like the Charlie conspiracy meme, Pizzagate, Jay-Z, occult rituals, Ellen's Little St. James set, Diddy parties, adrenochrome, Bill Gates, Bush Sr. It's all connected. Yes. Like it does all seem connected. We're like the crazy people, you know, the meme, the crazy guy with the freaking all the different things on the wall. And he's connecting them with red string. Yeah, that's like all of us right now. Northside, the point is we are already having a good time in 2026. Thanks. We are having a good time. That is for sure. I mean, shit, like things are actually going pretty good for me. I'm not complaining. Like sort of running again. It's going really well. Hopefully I can stay healthy. All right, guys, I think that is all I got for tonight. If you're still here, give that like button a tap for me. Greatly helps the algorithm. It helps the algorithm even more if you leave a comment in the chat, just saying whatever, just nothing mean. I mean, you could say something mean if you want. I'm not here to censor you. So, Boss Tina, Danger, Wally World, Northside, Dylan, Danger, already said you. Sage of Echoes. All right. Yep. I think that's all I got for tonight, you guys. Thought it was going to go longer, but I would have pulled up some more stuff, but we'll leave it here. We'll leave it at a 90-minute episode. So thank you guys all for hanging out. It's been fun. I will try to do, oh, you know what? So Steve Hilton agreed to come on the show. So we're kind of shooting for next week too. So that might be happening during the week. And if it does, I will be giving you guys a notification, and it should be an interesting conversation. I told him I'd like to talk for an hour. He agreed to it. I'm talking with his campaign guy, and hopefully we'll get that set up. So next episode might actually be with Steve Hilton for a good conversation. So tune in for that one. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Again, hit that like button, please. It would be very helpful. Before we get out of here, you know how we do it. We got to tell a joke from the greatest book ever written, or the sequel to the greatest book ever written. The greatest book ever written is The Truth About Chuck Norris, and the sequel is Chuck Norris Cannot Be Stopped, courtesy of Danger down here in the chat. What about Chad Bianco, Truth Bomb? I have been emailing back and forth with him, but he's sort of gone radio silent. I'm wondering if they looked into my account and saw that I call politicians gay retards, and they decided not to do an interview with me. If Steve Hilton comes on, I feel like it'll entice him to come on more. And I'm also trying to get Matt Mahan. So we'll see. Steve Hilton's the only one that's actually agreed so far. I have been in communication with Chad Bianco's team, but we'll see. I don't know if it'll happen. All right. Chuck Norris Cannot Be Stopped. You know the rules. I open the book to a random page and my eyes go to a joke and I read it. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not. Here we go. Chuck Norris joke of the evening. Most men are okay with their wives fantasizing about Chuck Norris during sex because they are doing the same thing. And on that note, stay CaliBased.